The lead of Suits, L.A., played by former Arrow and Heels star Stephen Amell, isn't where he wants to be in his career. He isn't where he wants to be on this planet either, and he's lost just about everyone he loves. One of the few remaining positives in his life is taken away before the pilot comes to a close, pushing poor Ted even further into misery. To be clear, Ted is not financially poor. He's actually very well off, if not outright wealthy, considering he's a formidable attorney operating out of Los Angeles' luxurious Culver City neighborhood. At the very least, he has enough money to feel comfortable, and that comfort should be indulged from time to time, tell a few jokes, go out for a couple of beers, catch a Lakers game. However, Ted isn't enjoying what life has to offer. When we first meet him, he's in crisis management mode, and even after the overly dramatic pilot finishes burning bridges, Ted makes no effort to rebuild them. Many still recognize the legal procedural as a defining drama of the USA Network's Blue Sky era, even though a surprising number of people didn't realize Suits was a hit until the series went viral on Netflix in the summer of 2023. Was Suits flawless? Not at all, especially in its later seasons. However, the early seasons stood out. In the original series, Gabriel Macht played Harvey Specter, a narcissistic corporate lawyer who, in the pilot, was dissatisfied with the status quo and took a major risk in hiring Mike Ross, a drug-dealing bike messenger, as an associate, despite the fact that Mike had never attended law school, let alone Harvard. Mike was a gamble worth taking due to his charisma and photographic memory. A Suits revival seemed inevitable when it became the most popular program in the world in 2023, over a decade after its USA Network premiere. Soon after, NBC announced Suits, L.A., a spin-off. More than a year and a half later, the spin-off has arrived, with Suits creator Aaron Korsh attempting to recreate the magic of the original series. In the Suits, L.A. premiere, we first meet Ted Black, played by Stephen Amell, at a turning point in his career. Throughout the episode, he compares himself to Patrick Mahomes, which tells you everything you need to know. He sees himself as a star player, but one facing adversity. A Yankees fan, Ted was once a federal prosecutor in New York with the authority to bring charges against the city's most notorious gangsters. But after relocating to the West Coast and switching to entertainment law, he and his colleague Stuart Lane established one of the biggest firms in the city. However, following an unexplained tragedy on the eve of his most significant case, Ted's entire world collapses. The main narrative of the show emerges when Ted and Stuart decide to merge with Ted's ex's law practice to secure dominance in Los Angeles' legal scene. Suits, L.A. implies that understanding Ted Black's past is essential to understanding his future. The audience is thrown into a nightmare scenario from Ted's final case in New York, where he used emotional blackmail to force a witness to testify against a ruthless criminal known for eliminating informants. Shortly after the witness agrees to testify, Ted's house is bombed. Though he barely survives, he remains undeterred in his pursuit of justice. Even after learning that his witness has died, he continues fighting the case. The outcome of the lawsuit and the real reason Ted left New York remain mysteries, likely to be revealed later. What we do know is that it involves his father, dangerous criminals, or both. After the incident, Ted arrives in Los Angeles and partners with Stuart. The Suits, L.A. premiere also establishes that despite Ted's extensive legal background, he doesn't believe in criminal defense attorneys, seeing anyone accused of a crime as guilty. Yet, he chooses to go into business with a defense lawyer. Ted transitions into entertainment law, which is largely contract litigation, while Stuart handles criminal defense. Ted abandoned a career built on imprisoning criminals to negotiate higher salaries for celebrities. This shift might make sense if we knew why he left New York, but we don't, making it one of the more perplexing aspects of the premiere. The plot thickens as Ted and Stuart merge with Ted's ex-partner Sam's firm. Though Ted, who has serious trust issues, accepts this decision without much on-screen persuasion, he is blindsided when Stuart and Sam betray him, taking all his employees and leaving him with only two rival junior partners. Ted now faces a critical decision, whether to promote his protégé Rick or the ambitious and ruthless Erica as head of entertainment. Rick, positioned as the new Mike Ross, is portrayed as more sympathetic than Ted and genuinely wants to go above and beyond for his clients. However, in the end, Rick betrays Ted by joining Stewart. Ted's decision to make Rick and Erica co-leads of entertainment isn't the reason Rick leaves. Instead, it's because Ted agreed to defend a wealthy film producer in a criminal case. Rick sees this as a moral failure and refuses to work with someone who participates in what he considers a broken legal system. Ironically, Rick is painted as the lawyer with a heart, yet he opposes the fundamental idea that every accused person deserves legal representation. With Rick gone, Erica becomes Ted's closest ally. She immediately capitalizes on Rick's departure, securing her role as the sole head of entertainment and earning a partnership. Ted had defended Erica when she was first hired, particularly when Stewart wanted her to handle only their firm's diverse clients. Now, Erica wants to prove Ted made the right choice in backing her. While it's unclear whether Suits, LA is setting up Ted and Erica as the next Donna and Harvey, a dynamic that can never truly be replicated, or a mentor-mentee relationship akin to Harvey and Jessica, it will be interesting to see how Erica's story unfolds. Ideally, she will branch out and start her own firm sooner rather than later. Amid all this, Ted is haunted, literally and figuratively, by his past. It turns out he isn't just tormented by memories of his final case, he also hallucinates his deceased brother, who had Down syndrome, appearing in his lavish LA apartment. The premiere reveals that Ted's father was not only a lawyer but also a major criminal. Whatever he did, he was corrupt and ended up in prison. Ted's brother was killed the night before their father's sentencing, supposedly to keep Ted safe. Whether this happened during Ted's childhood or is connected to the bombing in New York remains unclear. What is clear is that Ted has never forgiven his now-deceased father for his brother's death. While Suits, LA attempts to provide a significant portion of Ted's backstory up front, the original Suits took 2 seasons to unravel Harvey Specter's personal issues. Surprisingly, many of the details about Ted's past don't serve to establish the show's environment or provide meaningful context for his actions. Instead, his hallucinations raise concerns about his mental health and his ability to represent clients effectively. Why is a Suits spin-off experimenting with visions and ghostly hallucinations? How does any of this relate to Ted's legal practice? To summarize, as he battles the ghosts of his past, we see a morally ambiguous entertainment lawyer return to criminal law. His closest colleague and protege abandon him in his time of need. He may have feelings for his new head of entertainment and the only remaining partner at his firm. His father may have been a murderer but is definitely dead. Unlike the original Suits, which was built on solid legal foundations, Suits, LA struggles to define what kind of law it wants to focus on. Right now, it has no clear direction. We have a mess on our hands, and we can only hope things improve over time.